Never forget the lies they told about Gaza. Never forgive them. Notes from the edge of the narrative matrix. A joint investigation by The Guardian and 972 magazine found that the IDF's own records show that civilians make up at least 83% of those killed in Israeli attacks on Gaza. The report notes that the real number is likely significantly higher, since the number given doesn't include the thousands upon thousands of dead civilians who are still unaccounted for in Gaza because they are trapped under the rubble, or those killed by indirect means such as starvation or disease. The pro-Israel spin machine frantically tried to discredit this report as soon as it came out, but their arguments have been soundly debunked. They claimed that Israel has a phenomenally low civilian-to-combatant casualty ratio, and then Israel's own data proved that civilians comprise the vast majority of those killed by the IDF. They denied that Israel is starving Gaza. Then the IPC came out with a report saying that Israel is starving Gaza. They tried to claim that the skeletal children we're seeing in Gaza looked that way because of pre-existing conditions. Then the Israeli press published an extensive report showing that children with no pre-existing conditions are being starved. They tried to deny that Israeli soldiers were massacring civilians at aid sites. Then the Israeli soldiers themselves told the Israeli press that they were being ordered to massacre civilians at aid sites. Never forget all the monsters who tried to gaslight you and convince you that you are crazy and hateful for saying these things are happening. Never, ever forgive them. The IDF has admitted to uprooting thousands of olive trees in the West Bank on Thursday. The routine destruction of Palestinian olive trees is not the most shocking or evil thing that Israel does to the Palestinians, but it does speak to what its true intentions are in a unique way. Similar to the way white people killed off all the bison to help eliminate the American Indians, killing olive trees deprives Palestinians of an important means of earning a living and strikes at an important aspect of Palestinian identity and culture. Olive trees can live for thousands of years. People with a strong attachment to the land treasure and protect them, while the Israelis who claim to be indigenous to the area are destroying them and replacing them with highly flammable foreign plants. You can tell who the actual indigenous population is by watching their behavior. Normal person. Genocide is bad. Crazy person. Whoa, hey, let's not get political. Right-wingers are like, no, you don't understand. Israel is protecting Western civilization. If we don't help Israel genocide the Palestinians and starve their children and burn their babies and bomb their hospitals and demolish their cities, one day we could wind up ruled by evil, murderous savages. Normal person. Oh no, those people over there are committing genocide. Crazy person. Okay, but what religion are they? The way Zionists talk about Palestinian hatred of Jews, you'd think the Palestinians immigrated to Israel from somewhere else in 1948 in order to attack Jewish people. In 1937, Winston Churchill stated the following while arguing in favor of allowing Jews to settle in Palestine. I do not admit that the dog in the manger has the final right to the manger, even though he may have lain there for a very long time. I do not admit that right. I do not admit, for instance, that a great wrong has been done to the Red Indians of America or the black people of Australia. I do not admit that a wrong has been done to those people by the fact that a stronger race, a higher grade race, or at any rate, a more worldly wise race, to put it that way, has come in and taken their place. I do not admit it. I do not think the Red Indians had any right to say, the American continent belongs to us, and we are not going to have any of these European settlers coming in here. They had not the right, nor had they the power. End quote. Churchill knew exactly what he was looking at in the Zionist agenda to colonize Palestine. There was no confusion whatsoever. It wasn't until much later that history was revised through propaganda to spin this as something other than the Western settler colonialist project that it has always been. The other day I wrote the following in a rant about religious Zionists. Someone like Mike Huckabee is never telling the truth or saying what he really thinks is going on when it comes to Israel and the Palestinians. He's just making whatever mouth noises he needs to make to help fulfill a biblical prophecy and secure his eternal reward. Such people have no place in the conversation. They should be completely excluded from the debate because they are not actually participating in it. They're just lying and manipulating for reasons that have nothing to do with truth or morality." End quote. The very next day, Anti-War published an article titled, "Mike Huckabee Claims Israeli Settlements in the Occupied West Bank Are Not Illegal Under International Law." Like I said, Huckabee does not believe this obvious falsehood. He's just saying whatever words he needs to say to help advance the agendas of his weird Christian cult. These freaks consider themselves so pious and righteous, but in reality they are some of the most conniving, unethical deceivers our world has ever seen. It just occurred to me that at some point in the future they're going to try to demand that we condemn whatever radicalized groups and militias wind up emerging as a result of the Gaza genocide. That's going to be cute.